Today, I want to talk to you about the powers of your consciousness. And I'm not talking about the ephemeral, what is consciousness? How do we even know if we're conscious? What does consciousness even begin? In the womb? I don't know. But I want to talk to you about one of your superpowers and how to develop it. And how to use your conscious mind to become a better builder in your life. Hi, I'm Sonia. I teach people how to connect to their innate divine GPS, their intuition. And today we're going to talk about how to be a better co-creator and how to use our conscious mind to create and how to really fine tune and refine that superpower. So first of all, let's talk about consciousness as a creator. If you look in your life, you'll notice that the things that you focus on are the things that often grow. So if you're somebody who really pays attention to your relationships or your work or even how to cook, if you're somebody who uses your consciousness to find good restaurants on Instagram, you'll probably be the one that has a really fine-tuned list of really gorgeous places to eat. And that's a really simple example of how when we use our conscious mind, which can be like a magic wand, and point it somewhere and really fuel it with our attention, our intention, and really our emotions, we're basically creating this beautiful garden that grows. Now, when we often get hijacked by negative thinking, we get hijacked by old patterns, we get hijacked by trying to look to the past to make sense of the future. But in reality, if we can start to recognize that you have this superpower and that all you have to do is start to pay attention to what are the things that speak to your heart. Now, the reason why I ask that is our concentration and how we use our consciousness almost as that magic wand and to concentrate it is fueled by our emotional bodies, by our feeling bodies. So for example, I think back to when I was in 6th grade and I had a huge crush on this guy named Nick Stoynoff. Nick Stoynoff. I wonder where he is now. But my whole heart and being wanted to be with Nick Stoynoff, to the point where it completely consumed me. It was all I thought about. Even at one point I stole his hat to try and make like a magic witch potion to have him fall in love with me. Anyway, neither here nor there. But every cell in my being was so enamored into creating this relationship that it brought all of my attention, intention, and emotional fuel to really water this relationship. Now, I'll give you a spoiler alert, fast forward, Nick Stoynoff and I ended up in a moment, and then I realized that he wasn't actually what my imagination thought he was. Wasn't. He was in 6th grade, I was in 6th grade. But it's that same energy. It's that same like 6th grade, like I have a crush and like I'm gonna use all of my intention and powers to try and make this happen. That is the same vibe that we use to create things in our life, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a life that even feels better and feels good. We have to put in that same time and attention and even wonder and excitement. Because the truth of the matter is when we can start to recognize of ourselves as these conscious co-creators with the universe as an awesome thing, that's super fun. That's really rad. Imagine when you're a little kid and you have all your Legos and have all these little pieces that you get to create your own world. And that's the same energy that we can bring and embody in our adult lives. So the very first thing that I want to ask you is, how in touch are you with your feeling body, your emotions? I find that a lot of times with my clients that we get so distracted in our world, whether it's social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, busyness, that we get disconnected from our first feedback system, our emotions. Or maybe we grew up in an environment where it wasn't really safe to have emotions, or that we actually get so tuned into other people's emotions that we aren't even that sure of what our own are. So first, just to check in, how do I know how I feel about things? Because if we don't know how we feel, then we can't be effective creators, because you won't know what it is that you truly desire. You won't know what really holds your attention and what it is that you really want. You'll start to create things that you think you want, whether it's a relationship or a job or whatever. So first, how in touch are you with your own feelings? How patient are you with your own feelings? And that means that we can get back into our bodies, because your body is constantly giving you feedback all the time. And it talks to us in sensations. So for example, if you're uncomfortable with something, if you don't want to do something, you'll notice that there's a tightness, that there's a clenching. Or if you're really excited about something, everything in you opens up. You feel like, yay! It's that same energy. So one, like I said, how in touch are you with your feelings? And if some feelings are something that's new to you, because I do find as empathic, intuitive people, we often shut down our emotional feeling bodies because they can be overwhelming. And so we can be patient with ourselves and just start to be curious and become like investigators. What are these emotions telling me? Are they telling me it's something that is good for me? Is it telling me that I have to change, that I need to create a change? And that alone will start to give you a conversation with your body. And the beautiful thing is your body is where your spirit lives. And the more that we can be in touch with our bodies, our spirit and our God don't live out here, they live in here. And the more that we can be tuned into that feedback system, the more sensitive we become to it, the more we become guidable, the more that we know what is our true north. So one, how are you with your own feelings? Two, even in that same place is how can we fall in love with what it is that we're creating? And that means too, what are the things that you love? If you notice, and even if you sit and have a conversation with somebody and start to talk to them about the things that they love, you'll notice that everything in them opens up. It's like if you're talking to somebody about their favorite band or an experience that they really love, their whole face lights up, everything gets excited, the energy elevates. That's the same thing. And when we can even bring our own focus and attention, we'll start to notice how our body feels, what brings us online, and what naturally draws our attention. Our attention is fueled by our emotions, positive or negative. And so in that same way, that's an easy way that we can direct our energy. So when we can be aware and self-aware, that's when we really can fine-tune these superpowers. It reminds me of a client of mine that I had not that long ago. I gave her a reading, and she was somebody who was in a very high corporate job, and all she wanted more than anything was to move up the ranks. But she hated the environment. She hated her coworkers. It was just so toxic, so toxic. And every time I talked to her, she was like, all I want is this promotion, and then things will get better. And was so drilled in on this, but what completely was ignoring what was true, that her life and her environment was a mess. It didn't feel good, but figured that if she just concentrated on this one thing that she thinks she wanted, then life would get better. So I said, I don't know if that's truly what it is that you want, but she was resolute. So end our session, gave her some different advice. I said, get in touch with your feeling body. It'll give you better feedback than your head. So a few months later, she calls me back and says, I got passed over for that promotion, and I'm still in this toxic work environment, and I hate it. And what I'm actually realizing is this is not what I want at all. And what I actually do want is a job and a life that feels good, that isn't as stressful, and that I've been so determined on what I think I've wanted that I haven't opened up and created space for anything else. And so in that, having that place of coming back to her body, she's like, my body's starting to shut down. So the first thing I told her to do was to start to go for a walk every single day and journal about her feelings. because that will help to create that feedback loop. And actually, she's at a position right now where she left her former job and is now head of a nonprofit working with young kids that she is so pumped on and feels so good about. She has a great team, and she's like, I could not have imagined this. I was so focused on this one thing that I thought that I wanted that I was missing the magic that was right in front of me. And once she could kind of change that orientation, everything in her opened up. So in this video, I really first want you to, one, look at what are the things that you've created in your life? What has held your attention, good, bad, or indifferent? And just start to notice how that is what you're creating. Second of all, pay attention to how your body feels, to your feelings. And if feelings are something that's new to you or uncomfortable, slow down and just start to do a body scan. Notice the sensations and emotions, notice the different things that come up, and notice how that connects you back to your spirit and your own body. That will give you instant feedback. And third of all, I'm going to really encourage you at this time to date yourself. Take yourself on a date and get clear on what you want in present time. The more that you know yourself, the more that you're self-aware, the better you'll become as a creator, a co-creator, a manifester, and the better director you'll be. And any mistakes that you make, as we'd say in my family, good, rough draft. Because most importantly, when we live a life connected to our spirit, we have to be flexible because we're constantly learning, and bring that same joy and attention that I brought to try and make Nick Stoynoff fall in love with me. Oh gosh, hi Nick, watch him find this video, Google his name, that'd be hilarious. Sorry, I stole your hat. But anyway, dating yourself, don't date Nick Stoynoff. And most importantly, have fun. Recognize that it's like Legos. Invoke your childlike wonder. Invoke your little inner person that really is the best co-creator and looks as creating as play, because it is. So I'm sending you all my love. I hope you have a great week this week. If you liked my video, hit like, subscribe, check out my podcast that I do with my mom and my sister. We're actually going to start doing a video podcast called It's All Related. And check out my spirit type quiz. And if you're really curious, book a reading with me and get clear on your soul path, purpose, gifts. But most importantly, I am so grateful for you. Sending you all my love. Bye.